All right, let's kick off another deep dive. Today we're going to explore Krampus.
Ooh, nice.
He's been popping up a lot in pop culture recently, right? But we're going deeper, back to his roots.
I like it.
We've got some excerpts from Wikipedia and History.com ready to unravel this kind of unnerving Christmas tradition.
It's interesting how Krampus really embodies the darker side of the holiday season.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, total opposite of our jolly old Saint Nick.
Right. Not someone you want coming down your chimney.
Nope.
So, for those who might be meeting Krampus for the first time, what's this guy look like? And where does he fit in with Christmas?
Okay, well, picture this. Horns, fangs, and this long, creepy tongue.
Oh,
Our sources described him as half goat, half demon.
yikes.
Yeah, and he's usually carrying chains and bells, and you don't want to see what he's got in those bundles of birch rods.
Sounds more menacing than merry, that's for sure.
You got it.
What about that sack everyone shows him with?
Right.
That's not for presents, is it?
No, not for presents.
Okay, good.
He uses that to carry off naughty children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
No kidding. It definitely makes you wonder, is this just a way for parents to keep their kids in line during the holidays?
Yeah.
Or is there more to it? You know, like a deeper meaning?
Oh, it goes much deeper than just a parenting tactic.
Okay, I figured.
Krampus, like many figures in folklore, has a purpose.
Right.
He represents a balance, you see. Light and dark.
Duality.
Yeah, like good and evil, right. So while St. Nicholas is handing out rewards, Krampus is dishing out punishment.
Right, like a cosmic balancing act.
Exactly. It's recognizing those two forces existing together.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But where did Krampus come from? Was he always part of the Christmas story?
Well, his beginnings are a little hazy.
Ah, the mystery of folklore.
Exactly. Could even be pre-Christian.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, possibly tied to those ancient winter solstice celebrations.
Interesting.
You know, the sources actually mention these figures, Perchin and Strigella. Okay.
Who are also associated with those traditions.
So maybe he's a remnant of older beliefs that got absorbed into Christmas as time went on.
You got it. It's like he was a separate entity first, maybe even a nature spirit,
Wow.
before anyone ever paired him with St. Nicholas.
That's fascinating.
And then by the 17th century, they became like this official duo.
Oh, wow. The dynamic duo of reward and punishment.
That's it. Good cop, bad cop for Christmas.
I love it.
Yeah. And speaking of Krampus getting down to business,
Oh.
there's actually a whole night dedicated to him.
No way.
Krampusnacht, December 5th,
Okay.
the night before St. Nicholas Day.
Oh, so that's when the real fun, or maybe terror, begins.
You could say that.
All right, tell me more. What goes down on Krampusnacht?
So traditionally, men dress up as Krampus, run through the streets, often with a bit too much holiday spirit, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I get it. That holiday cheer.
They call this the Krampus Law.
The Krampus Law.
Yeah, and it's quite a sight, I bet. Imagine all these, like, horned figures charging around.
Oh, yeah. Rattling chains, scaring everyone in their path.
So, kind of a way to blow off some steam then?
You could say that.
Makes you wonder, though, was there a deeper meaning to all that chaos?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Some scholars think the Krampuslauf, you know, as wild as it seems, might have been a social safety valve.
Okay.
A way for people to, you know, express those wilder impulses. But in a controlled, ritualized way.
Yeah, like a ritualistic purge.
Yeah. Maybe even getting rid of some of those anxieties.
Oh, interesting.
Before the new year starts.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like this controlled chaos, almost a ritual to like purge all the bad energy, huh?
Yeah, you could say that.
But besides running around in the streets, how else was Krampus like shown in the past?
Well, that's where those Krampuskarten come in.
Ah, the cards.
They give us a really interesting look at how people saw Krampus back in the 19th century, I mean.
Yeah, and even how they commercialized him back then.
Right, exactly.
They're definitely not your typical Hallmark Christmas card.
No, not at all.
So tell me more about those. What are they like?
Well, they often show Krampus in like different scenes, sometimes with funny little rhymes or poems. But what's really interesting is how his image changed over time.
Oh, really? How so?
Okay, so at first, the Krampuskarten showed him as this totally scary beast.
Oh, wow.
Really emphasized him as the Punisher.
Right.
But as time went on, his image got, well, softer.
Softer, huh?
He became more comical.
Okay.
And even, I'm almost hesitant to say it, romantic.
Romantic? Wait, a demon? With a love interest.
Well, it's definitely different from the child-snatching beast we talked about.
No kidding.
Some cards even show him with female companions.
Wow.
Makes you wonder if they were trying to make him more appealing, you know?
Yeah, maybe make him less scary.
Yeah, and inject some humor into the tradition.
So from scary monster to maybe like a heartthrob?
Kinda, yeah.
Krampus has had quite the makeover over the years.
He has.
And speaking of makeovers, we got to talk about Krampus in North America now.
Right.
He's blown up, gone from obscure to pop culture icon.
True.
He's everywhere. Movies, TV, books, even those ugly Christmas sweaters.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild. Why do you think he's resonating so much with people now?
That's a great question.
Especially in a culture that usually just wants, like, happy Christmas stuff.
Right. Maybe it's a rebellion against all that overly commercialized Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
You know, the super sweet, picture-perfect version.
Yeah.
Maybe people are looking for something, well, darker, more complex.
Right. I think
so balance to all that happiness, you know?
It is interesting to think about, especially with how the darker parts of folklore often reflect what we're worried about in society.
Absolutely.
Like Krampus, with his whole punishing bad behavior thing, could be seen as showing those anxieties we have, even if it's all just for fun.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if his comeback now reflects something deeper.
Right.
Something we might not even realize.
Yeah.
So from keeping kids in line to a pop culture icon, maybe reflecting our anxieties. Krampus is more than just a spooky Christmas story, huh?
Definitely.
He's changed and adapted, showing how our values and beliefs have changed too.
Right.
But before we get too deep into all that, let's just quickly go over what we've learned about Krampus so far.
Good idea.
We found out he's this horned half-goat, half-demon guy.
Right.
Like an anti-Santa, punishing the naughty while St. Nick rewards the good.
The opposite.
His origins are still a bit mysterious.
Yeah.
But he's possibly from those old pagan traditions.
Could be.
And he's been part of Christmas in the Alps for centuries. We talked about Krampus not in that Krampus loft.
Right.
Where everyone dresses up and runs wild.
Letting loose?
Maybe a way to let off steam before the new year.
Exactly.
Oh, and those Krampus carton. Show how he's gone from terrifying beast to funny, even romantic over time.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Now, knowing all this about Krampus, his history and how he's been shown, we can look at his popularity today in a whole new light.
That's for sure. It adds a whole other dimension to it.
Right.
It's not just costumes and spooky stories.
It's deeper.
It's about how these traditions change and adapt.
Yeah.
Showing our anxieties and beliefs.
Exactly.
But as we wrap up, I can't help but wonder, with Krampus making a comeback, especially now, what does that tell us about how we see the, darker side of holidays and folklore?
You know, it really is fascinating. We've been talking about how Krampus represents this, duality.
Right.
Light and dark, reward, punishment, and maybe in a world that feels more and more complicated.
Yeah.
And, uncertain.
Yeah, I see that.
Maybe it's comforting to, acknowledge the darker stuff.
Right.
Admit that life isn't always sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like we're accepting all of human experience.
Yeah.
Even the parts that make us uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Maybe those darker parts, like what Krampus shows us, are just part of being human.
Exactly. And it's not just about accepting it, It's about finding ways to actually deal with it.
Oh, interesting.
Think about the Krampus loaf.
Okay.
All that controlled chaos, all that ritualistic purging of anxieties.
Right.
It could be a way of actually confronting those darker urges.
Okay.
Acknowledging them.
Yeah, and then letting them go.
Yeah.
So Krampus might be helping us deal with that darkness in a healthier way.
Maybe, yeah.
Instead of just pushing it down, we're recognizing it, even celebrating it.
Yeah, in a safe way.
Right, in a controlled environment.
Yeah, we're reclaiming those parts of ourselves.
Yeah, the parts we try to hide when we're always trying to be positive.
You got it.
I think you're right, Krampus, with his horns and all that, might be reminding us that it's okay to embrace all of it. The good, the bad, everything.
A whole spectrum.
And maybe by facing that darkness, we can find a better, more real way to be in the world.
I think so.
Wow. You give me a lot to think about this holiday season. I might even leave a little something extra out for Krampus, just in case.
Oh, I never know.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Krampus.
It's been fun.
It's been enlightening and, A little creepy.
A little bit.
But definitely fun.
Always a pleasure to explore folklore and traditions.
Absolutely.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Hope your holidays are full of mischief and merriment.
You too. Thanks again.
Thank you for joining CMF Conspiracies podcast. What do you think about the topic we covered today? Comment below with your thoughts on this subject. If you have a conspiracy you wish for us to deep dive into, please send your topic to our email address or leave it in the comments. Thank you again for watching. Like and subscribe for more content like this.